Well, hello there, friends. Soup Monday. And let me tell you, I got a soup for you. Delicious. When it's cold out there, what do we want to do? We want to get a nice stew. We want to get it by the fireplace. Especially in Florida, we don't have any fireplace. But let me tell you, this is fantastic, friends. It's a beef stew soup. Not like a regular beef stew, except everything is cut nice and small, cooks a lot faster, and it's got the same ingredient, the same flavor as a very rich beef bourguignon, but it's in a soup, and it's really delicious. So I'm glad you're here. I'm gonna show you how to make it. Remember, thumbs up if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell. Stay tuned, friends, we're doing it right now. Okay, friends, that's an easy one, and it's delicious. I'll tell you that on all my soup, but they really are, my friend. I wouldn't do them unless they were delicious. If they're not delicious, I'm not doing it. Because I don't want you to do one of my recipes and go, oh, that was no good. I don't want that, all right? So I'm going to make it delicious. And it's easy. A little prep. You got to cut up a bunch of stuff. You know, it's always like that, isn't it? Prep, mise en place. Not complicated. All right, friends. So it's a beef stew as a soup. It's really simple. The idea is so simple and yet it's so delicious. So I'm going to give you my little tricks. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm doing two pots because it's easier, but at home if I had to wash my pot, I'd probably do it all in one. And I would remove them as I do them. I don't want to do it all at once. And leave them all in there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So for beef, friends, I just wanted to show you how I got it. Let me make sure, let me see if it's hot enough so I can start my onion. And the beef we're gonna do in here, and I should have turned it on a little higher. It works better that way. So let me tell you about the beef. I bought that at the grocery store. Normally, I don't really like to buy my beef at the grocery store, but I've been very lucky lately. This is from Publix, believe it or not, and this is top round. They advertise it as top round for stir fry or fajita, and they're already cut in little pieces like that. So this would be great for a fajita, you know, just a little piece like that, but too long for a soup. And for a soup, we might, oh, by the way, this was not expensive. It was $9, there's over £1.50. So it's not bad, £1.50, because I'm making a big amount. Let me put some onion in here. All I got is one big onion. That's all I got, one big onion. Diced not too small, but not too big either, because this is not going to cook very long. It's not going to be like a beef stew with big pieces of beef that takes 2.5 hours to cook. This will take a little while, but not 2.5 hours. All right? So we got, as soon as I got the temperature, I'm going to put the beef in here and give it some beautiful color. So I got one big onion. You know I use a big onion. I'll show you every time one big onion, like this guy's over there. Right, big one. That's what it is. Dice, as you can see, we're going to caramelize them. Always the onion number first. Always, unless bacon. Unless it's bacon. Then it's number 2. Okay? So look. And right there, this is how it comes. So you know what I do? I cut it. And what size do you want to cut them? It's got to fit on your spoon. It's a soup. So if you don't cut it small enough, they don't fit on your spoon. And then what are you going to do? Cut them. You're going to go in there with a I got my rag right here, my wet rag to sanitize my table. People are worried about my table. Don't worry, I'm good. All right, I'm sanitized. I got my sanitized water in here, and I'm always getting ready to have a sanitized surface. All right, so I don't know where I was, but sometimes I lose train of thought. I don't know if it happens to you. Did I clean my knife yet? I don't know for sure, so I'm going to put it here so I can clean it up in a minute. I did clean it. See? Oh, mamma mia. It's 365 degrees. It's ready to go. So we're going to put the beef in here, and we're going to get some nice caramelization, okay? And hopefully it won't be one of those beef that you buy that is full of water. We'll see. Public Publix is on the line right now. Supposedly this is not frozen. We'll see. Public supermarket. I like the public supermarket. We're lucky to have public supermarket in Florida because there's a lot of bad one out there. Oh, yes. You know what? I got to put pepper. And I'm also going to put, I got this garlic salt that is delicious. Very fine, but it's delicious. So I'm going to put a little bit in there. There we go, right there. And then we're going to put some black pepper. I'm not moving it too much. I want color. I want the Maillard reaction. Okay? Same thing with the onion. I want some color, caramelization. They get sweeter. What do you think? I don't know. You say, I don't know. Well, I don't blame you. I don't know either. Let's see. We want good color. Do I get color? I got color. Not much. No. I hope we don't get this deal. Then it's full of water. I'm not going to touch it. If I touch it, I know what's going to happen. Okay, so look, the onion are caramelized, my friends. So this was one big onion. There were 1.5 pounds of beef so far. And this right there is one of them little packets of mushroom. I said they're 8 ounces. And I sliced it. Those are baby portobello. Well, that's what they call them. People say that's not what they are. Wow, that's what they call them. I'm not a... We're going to put a little more of the salt. But I'm going to put it here because it's very fine. I don't want to put too much in there. A little salt in there. And then we're also going to put some black pepper. Black pepper. Here we go. Black pepper. And black pepper here. And look at the beef. Look at the beef. It's getting me some water in there. So thank goodness it's going to be for stew. So it's kind of pre-cooking it. And right now the purpose of it was to give it color. And look at this. They're not giving me no color. Mamma mia. When are we going to get beef with no water? What do you think? People say there's blood in there. It's not blood. It's myoglobin. So look, we're sauteing the mushroom, getting ready the water. So that's why I put the salt in here. That helps you. You see right here, we got a nice base. By the way, you could have put some bacon in there, but I've been using bacon a lot lately. And people think I put bacon on everything, so I decided to slow down on the bacon a little bit. So let me tell you what I got here, friends. Besides the fact that I got beef boiling in water right there, or whatever liquid that is, myoglobin or something, we're getting really nice color. You see that? You like it? It looks beautiful, right? This is what I'm talking about right there. Right there, this is the flavor. We got 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme and 1 tablespoon of fresh rosemary. If you can get it, it's wonderful. And we got 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. 2.5 tablespoons. Put whatever you got. 2 tablespoons. That's always about 2 tablespoons. This is like a teaspoon. It's not even a tablespoon. So 2 tablespoons of garlic chopped. Look how beautiful that is. If you could be here smelling it right now, you would just like, wow, this is going to be good. Remember, we got to get rid of the water. Now we do. In here. And here too. So we want to make sure there's no water in there, friends. Water, we try to stay away from water as much as possible. You see what I do? Look, I clean my pot. I clean my pot so nothing attaches in the bottom. You know, this pot right here is probably 30, 40 years old. This one pot. I love it. I love it. 30, 40 years old. This will last you a lifetime. All right, so now that we smell the garlic, what do? We deglaze the pan. And right here, I got about a cup and a half, 2 cups of good red wine. I'm deglazing the pan. It's really important to do that to get rid of the alcohol. Okay, friends, so remember that. It's very important. The only wine you don't reduce are a fortified wine. Port, Madeira, Marsala, you don't reduce those. What else do I got? I got the carrots, the carrot wheel. I showed you in the video how to do that. Every time I do carrot in some kind of a stew things, I make them nice looking, but you can just slice them. Don't make them too big, otherwise they'll never cook. Trust me, I've done that before. I cut them too big and they don't cook. And if they don't cook, then let me make sure this is as high as you're going to get. If they don't cook, then they're not good. So carrots cut very nice and thin. I got celery. This is about, I don't know, it was about 3 big carrots. And I peel them and I cut them like that. And like I said in the video, how to chop vegetables correctly, I show it. Celery, there was 3 branches of celery and 1 whole green bell peppers. If you don't have one of them, let's say you don't have green bell pepper, or I come back the recipe, I don't have green pepper. Make it without the green pepper. Make it with a red pepper. Make it with a yellow pepper. Make it with no pepper. It's still going to be delicious. You happen not to have any celery? Don't worry about it. Don't put it in. It's not like it's a crucial ingredient, you know, like for instance, this is driving me nuts, but it's coming, it's coming. Look, 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 look. See the color? This is what I want, friends. You see right there? It's taking its time, but it's coming. It's coming. You see? Yeah, it's coming. Finally, mamma mia. Finally wake up. So, what was I talking about? Do you remember what I was talking about? You see, they don't remember either. How am I supposed to remember? I'm supposed to do everything and remember what I'm talking about. Look, I got potatoes, friends. I got Yukon Gold potatoes, and you know what? I also want baking potatoes. I'll put them in there. So 2 big potatoes. All right, 2 big potatoes. You keep them in water. Otherwise, you're going to have, oh yeah, it's coming. You keep them in water, friends. Look, look, look. You see the wine is reduced down to nothing. This is really important. This is really, really important, friends. You see how beautiful that is? Yeah, I was just saying, if you don't have an ingredient, don't put it in. And that's okay. It's true. All right, friends. I got a can of 28 ounce of tomatoes that I chopped. I didn't chop. I squeezed them with my hand. The way my mom used to do it. Let me tell you, friends, it is starting to smell delicious around here. Then I'm going to put the carrots. Then I'm going to put the celery. And then I'm going to put the peppers. All right, what do you think so far, friends? Let me tell you, this is going to be delicious soup. It's got so much goodie in there. All right, beef. I think the beef is good. You see? I think the beef is good, my friends. We got enough color on it. You know what we're going to do, friends? We're going to put it in here. And then we got a lot of goodies in here, right? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to deglaze that fry pan with stock. You see? I'm going to deglaze that. Let me show you the stock. I didn't show you the stock, sorry. You got it over there, the stock? You're good? And this is my beef stock. So you know what I'm going to do? Yeah. Yep, you see? That pan is going to be like, yes. And I'm going to deglaze it right there, making sure there's nothing stuck on there. And look, see the beef? The beef's looking beautiful. The beef is looking beautiful. Look at this. I want to test it to see. I want to test it to see how good would it be for a frittata? Oh, how good would it be to do it? Because it's an expensive beef. Let's see. Needs to cook. Not exactly. Excuse me, but. So it's delicious, but it's not tender. So, not tender. As you can see, it's not tender. And so I have to be cooking the soup to be fine, okay? So look, look, look. So that was about a cup and a half of stock so far. We're going to put enough stock to cover everything. See how good that was? I don't know if you could see this on the camera, but let me tell you, the juice that came out of there, oh, you can see it right here on top. You see right there, friends? Look at this. Yeah. So now, Now you know what I'm talking about. You see how beautiful that is? So here's what we're going to do, friends. We're going to cover it, and then we're going to show you how to thicken it later. We're not going to thicken it now. Because if you thicken it now, we're going to put a little flour in there. If we do it now, friends, so I put enough stock to put it right on top, but that was my 4th ladle, I believe. That's my 5th ladle. Well, I started with 10 cup of stock. I started with 10 cup of stock. So I will measure it and see what I have left, and I'll give you the exact measurement in the recipe. So now, friends, we're going to thicken it with flour. And flour only needs about 15-20 minutes to cook the starch out of there. So this is going to require at least an hour and 15 minutes to cook. So in about an hour from now, maybe a little less than an hour, I'm going to come back and we're going to put the flour. I'm going to show you how to do it. If I put the flour now and give it plenty of time to cook, it's a wonderful idea. The problem is flour is going to fall in the bottom of your pot. And you're going to have to really, really be there the whole time to make sure it doesn't stick in the bottom. So what we're going to do, we're going to wait for almost, then it's finished, like 15-20 minutes, because that's all the flour needs is 15-20 minutes. So 15-20 minutes before it's finished completely, then we're going to put the flour, okay? When do we put the potato? I could have kept them in water, really, because if I put them now, they're going to be way too mushy, so we don't want that. So I'm going to cook this for a half hour. I'm going to bring it to boil. Then I'm going to reduce it down to cook it very slowly. Bloop, 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 bloop. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Like, you know, you see a little bloop, little bloop, little bloop. So you know you're cooking. And then we're going to cook it. And then we are going to come back, okay? So make sure you still take a spoon or a spatula. I love those rubber spatulas. They're great. They're actually silicone. Rubber, they would melt. Silicone. And I check the whole thing like that. I think I can, right off the bat, I know I can put another cup of stock. Because, now this is my beef stock that I made. I already give you the recipe, but just if you don't have that beef stock, you can certainly buy a good beef broth. What I recommend you do, though, if you do that, buy one, it's going to be much more liquid than mine. You may want to add a couple of tablespoons in your recipe, in case you don't have a thick beef stock like that. A couple of tablespoons of tomato paste. That will give you the body you need. Because, you know, it's a soup, but you still have, look how beautiful that is, friends. It's going to be delicious. It smells amazing. Oh, seasoning. We seasoned a little bit at the beginning, but we didn't season enough. So I'm going to put it in now. Put it in now. A little salt right there. This is our roasted garlic salt. It's delicious. And I'm also going to put more black pepper. All right? Friends, I'll see you in about 45 minutes to an hour. Well, the carrots are going to tell us when it's ready to go in the beef, obviously. All right? I'll see you in a little while. Okay, friends, well, it smells amazing. So after 45 minutes, I added the potatoes. And I cooked another 45 minutes. So it's been an hour and a half. Depends the meat you're going to use, friends. It may take a little bit longer. You see, well, what I do is I literally take a ladle or something, and I check my beef, you see, and I should be able to cut it with a spoon. And if I can't cut it with a spoon, then I need to cook it a little bit more, okay? And this is perfect. See right there, it cuts perfect. And if you overcook it, it becomes dry, so you have to be careful. And everything else is cooked, and the potatoes are down, everything is down, the carrots are down, everything is down. All right, so now if, it depends how you like it thick, okay? If you like it a little thicker than this, friends, you have to thicken it. And you're going to go, well, if I put flour, I got to cook it. You're right, you got to cook it about 15 minutes. Because that's what we're going to do. You know, I decided at the last minute I'm going to add some spinach. I add a few leaves of spinach in there. I'm going to add it, it's gonna give it a nice color, a nice flavor, and chop it up very small. Remember now, you got to chop it very small, friends. The the spinach. Otherwise, you put on the spoon, it's never going to fit. So make sure you take the time to chop it. I'm not sure I did as good of a job as I should have, but this is going to be delicious. It really, really smells fantastic in here. It really smells like you're making a stew. It's the same ingredients, it's just the texture is going to be a little different. So, to thicken it. So at this point, you can take a little cornstarch, you can take tapioca powder, you can put arrowroot, you can put any thickener you want. If you want to put flour, because flour still gives you a very rich mouthfeel than only flour can give you. If you have a cooked roux, you can do it now. Add it on there. You know, I made a video on that, how to do the cooked roux. If you don't have a cooked roux, then you want to add raw flour. How do you add raw flour? Well, if you were to take the raw flour, friends, I'm not going to add very much because I kind of like the texture I have already. Oh, another thing that I didn't tell you, and I need to tell you, I added an extra 4 cups of stock. So there's a lot of stock in there. Okay, I added an extra 4 cups because I needed them. So depends the texture you want, okay, friends? So at this point, if you wanted to add the flour, what you do, you take a strainer like that, and you've seen this, I use that technique all the time. Yeah, and I'm not going to put a lot of flour because I don't need it. I just wanted to show you the technique of it. And then you do this like this, and make sure you do a very fine strainer, and you incorporate your flour like this, and you see, look, you see how smooth it is? And your flour just going to go right in here, you see? And it's going to go in there, no lumps at all. So for those of you that have seen this before, you know exactly the technique. And you see all the little lump right there? Well, they're here. They're not in our stew, in our soup, all right? So we're going to take this, and we're going to put it in here so it's out of the way. All right, so now, I didn't put very much flour, but I'm still going to cook it. So remember now, the minute you do thicken it with the roux, and you have to cook at least 15, 20 more minutes, okay, which will be just fine. But make sure you do it very, very low, and every so often you check because the flour is going to have tendency to fall in the bottom, and then it'll stick on you. So it's important. That's why you do it at the end. If you do it at the beginning, then you just got to keep mixing it. It's no big deal, but especially if you're in the kitchen. But if you're not in the kitchen, then, all right, friends, so we're going to let this cook for a few minutes to burn that flour out. You'll test it, but you see, it's a beautiful texture. So I'm not going to put any more in here. I'm just going to cook out what I have right here. And again, that's a matter of opinion. You like it more liquid, then you put more stock. You like it more thick, you put a little more flour. So see you in a minute when it's all finished. Okay, friends, well, cook it 15, 20 minutes. And check it to make sure the flour is gone, so you don't test it. It doesn't test like glue. And if you needed the flour, you may not need it. You know, it depends how you like it. You know, and there's no right or wrong here. You're the chef, so you decide what's the best consistency for you. And there's no right or wrong. It's up to you. And voila! Let me tell you, friends, this is a beautiful soup, and it's gorgeous. He's gonna be hot. You know what? Make a lot, friends, because it freezes it. This soup right here, you know, right now I'm building my collection of soups in a freezer. I got lots of them. You know, every Monday we're gonna be making soup, so I got all kind of cool soup I'm gonna be doing, and it's gonna be really exciting. And I put them in the freezer, so I make a meal out of this. Let me tell you. You could add a little pasta to this, like a you know what would be good also is a Israeli couscous. That'd be perfect at it, or a small little pasta would be fantastic. An orzo pasta would be great in there. But you got the potatoes in there, so that's kind of your starch. So, but look, it's beautiful. So remember when you test this, friends, I want you to think salt and pepper. I want you to see if you can find the salt a little bit. If you can't find it, maybe you don't have enough. So you know what I do, right? I take a little bit of it, and I put a little more salt, and I eat it. Put a little more salt, and I eat it. When it's too much salt, oh, then you've learned what that soup takes. It's really important. You'll be amazed sometimes with just a little bit of salt what it can do. Anyway, this it's probably cooled enough so I won't burn myself. But this smells amazing. I'm telling you. Oh yeah, oh, it's still hot. It's delicious. See, got a piece of beef, squish it on it. My friend, it is delicious. I hope you'll be part of your soup collection. Remember, thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to ring the bell. Thanks for watching, friends. Well, let's eat because let me tell you, it's fantastic. It really is. I'm so happy the beef is melting in your mouth. I was a little afraid of the beef. Let me tell you, because that beef at the beginning, I was like, oh man, that ain't gonna work. But it worked out great. Kind of like a stew in a way, you know. You're doing the stew, you gotta cook it until it's tender. But same deal here, except it's just a little more liquid. You know, we didn't need any more flour. I think it's perfect. All right, you're hungry? Let's go eat.